Oh, welcome back. And, Rusty, I mean, do you have anything to add to that? Or is it the less said, the better for that one?
Yeah, I wish Fizz didn't exist.
That's good. That's constructive. That's constructive.
He doesn't exist
like
at the moment. Soon,
the teams can take that away and really ponder that for their next game.
He set me off, right? Spawn said the F word once. I was locked in. No, it was a good game for Chaz. Is someone that I want to keep looking at. And at a certain point, I feel like we just start banning Orianna in competitive games. The more I watch it, the more I'm convinced it's just doing too well in laning phase by simply existing.
It's only 3 people that play it though, Rusty. I feel like if you have a look at like the rest of the OPL, like if you look at, say, for example, if Legacy played, Order or Gravitas or Mammoth, I think it just falls the whole way through pick ban phase. Like I don't even think you need to ban it or take it there because I don't think they actually play it. Like what we're seeing is they don't. But when you have a look at Chaz, Shock, Claire, like your control mage players, it does seem to be a very good control mage on the current patch, I agree.
Well, there you go. Those are the 2 champions that we don't think should be in League of Legends anymore.
I like Orianna. Orianna's so fun to commentate. Fizz is the opposite. Fizz is annoying, but Orianna, great champ.
We will get to more great champs in a second. Before we do, though, we want to remind you that there's big prizes up for grabs. And the people with the grabby hands, that's you, Twitch chat. You can get EPOS headsets. That is the first one I'm going to cover. EPOS want to give away 2 of their headsets away to 2 lucky OPL viewers. We are talking the GSP 600 gaming headset. All you need to do is reply to a tweet on the @OPL Twitter account. It's that easy. Tell us your most out-of-this-world gaming experience, your favorite gaming moment, the biggest gaming success story you have, basically anything you want. Just wow us with your stories. We'll pick our 2 favorite ones in a couple of weeks' time, and those 2 winners will get themselves a GSP 600 gaming headset. The winners will be announced on the OPL broadcast, and not just announced on the OPL broadcast, but a part of the OPL broadcast. That can be you if you enter our NeoSurf competition. NeoSurf want to give you $500 to spend on the League of Legends store. All you need to do is film yourself joining our opening titles call. Send that video via DM to @OPL. Follow @OPL and @NeoSurf Esports on Twitter, and we will pick our 2 favorite competition winners from that. Our favorite competition win from that one. They'll get 500. The runners-up, the next 5, will get themselves $100 each. That's a lot of money to be spending in the League of Legends store. Is this some sort of gang sign?
Does that look like a 5?
A 5?
I mean, yeah, if you're telling me that.
Does it not? Does that not look like a 5?
Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah.
Or is it backwards?
No, that's the right way. No, that's a 5. Like.
Yeah, cool. I was just doing 500. I got bored. You talked for so long that I had to occupy myself somehow.
There's a lot of copy here that we're obligated to say.
Is that a gang sign? I like that a lot. He just walks into the Order Gaming House. Sup, boys, beat Chiefs. Let's go, gang, gang.
All right. I think I'm done with all that copy, though. So there you go. You know what you're doing. Merc Zaid, Spawn making a dad moment somehow. So true.
What do you mean? I am a dad. What does that even mean?
Somehow.
Okay, let's get back into the thing that's actually important. Roll the titles for the LCK.
Who's ready to reckon? Didn't I fight you yesterday? Or was that a different cutie thing?
With your power level, I suggest you forfeit instead.
The LCK, of
That's
course,
so
everyone's
good.
favorite segment. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
I like that.
Long-running favorite segment here on the OPL, where it is, of course, the League Champion Knockout. We are deciding this week for the Demacia region which champs are best. So far, Galio, Sinjao, and Garen have taken down Jarvan, Silas, and Vayne. Next up, we have Sona versus Shyvana. Gentlemen, start your argument engines.
Sona.
Why?
I hate both of
Because
these champions.
you're feeling run down, you haven't been outside because quarantine for a while, you hear some sick beats, you're feeling yourself, you're getting your jam, you're working off all that quarantine fat, you're feeling good. You're getting exercise, you're getting outside, you're being social, you're living your best life, mate.
Timely.
Here's the thing. Soda can't speak, right? But she's in your head, so you can still hear her speak. That's creepy. I don't
You know what
want
they
that
need,
in my
Rusty?
life.
They need
you
a
want-
skin that displays
you
you stay on my mind. If that's a Sona skin, I'm turning my sound on. It's done.
if it's a DEFCON, like I'll take Sona, but it's
Yes.
not. It's
yeah,
Shyvana.
True.
No,
I love that
Shyvana-
you're. Sorry, I just love the fact that you're like, Sona's creepy. I'll take the dragon lady.
At least you know what you're getting with the Dragon Lady.
It's true.
Anyone that's played against AP Shyvana lately is not picking AP Shyvana. I'm going with Sona as well.
All right, there you go. Sona takes the win with that one. Obviously, we have 3 people here, but I still have the deciding vote because, it's my game. Well done, Sona. May you creep Rusty out forever. All right, up next, we have... Let me just get rid of that one. We have Lux versus Quinn. Lux versus Quinn. Which champ do we like best?
Quinn, 100%.
Wow, it's
Because
like...
she has a
it's-
skin
Has
that
Quinn,
looks like Taylor
has
Swift.
Quinn already lost? She's already grey screen. It's already done.
There we go. Sorry, Rusty, what was your pitch for Quinn?
Because she has a skin that looks like Taylor Swift.
Okay.
That's it. That's the whole argument.
That's it. That's the tweet, man.
I think Quinn, because Lux just gives me off some, like, creepy vibes. Like, those eyes just scare me. Looks like that possessive girlfriend that's just constantly nagging you. So, like, reply to me. Go farm that lane. Go get some CS. Go teleport. Why weren't you at the gank? Why are you not at Dragonfly? Why are we losing the game? Why are you surrendering? That's what I see when I see a Lux. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a bit of a tangent. Maybe we've had some poor experiences in life. You never know.
How does that make you feel, Skimmy?
How does that make me feel? This was a bit of an online therapy session, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Bit of trauma. Bit of trauma for the gang to lap around. High fives all around. We're not in a studio, but I'm feeling the love right now.
That is so funny. Spawn?
I'm scared of birds, so I'd go with Lux. Birds creep me out, man.
Okay, so Spawn's scared of birds. Skimmy doesn't like to be harassed
Vote
in
for
lane.
Taylor Swift, man.
And Rusty likes Taylor Swift. I think we're gonna have to go with Quinn for this one. I feel like that's the. There was you had me at Lux's creepy eyes, which I've never seen before, but there's an intensity there. That's not like a violent intensity, which is what you expect from most champions. It's a real sort of like, yeah. I know that intensity. All right, it is now. Oh, I mean, this is very different. Lucian versus Poppy. Everyone's favorite small thing with a hammer versus Lucian.
Okay, I'm going with Poppy because Lucian existed purely to find Senna and now has done so and needs to leave the game because it's just so annoying to play against. So mission accomplished, mate. Go have a family and settle down somewhere else. Poppy, on the other hand, is like the ultimate FU to highly mobile champions. And I, as a Juggernaut player, it gives me nothing but joy being able to ruin other people's day. And when like everyone else is flying all over the screen and I can just hit W and ruin everyone else's day, I am a big fan of that.
Rusty?
Yeah, I'm in agreement, actually. So I'd pick Poppy for this one. I think Lucian's an overplayed, annoying to deal with champion a lot of the time, and Poppy directly counters that, and it just feels great. It just feels great.
Poppy is literally a Rafflecopter, so get your Zoomer memes out, swing the hammer, have a bit of fun, and I feel like Poppy's a bit of a jack of all trades. If Poppy was living in Christchurch, an absolute patriot would help rebuild that city, help us get up and running again. But obviously I'm in Sydney now, so things have changed, and Poppy still tends to be the go-to, the GOAT.
You've all voted for Poppy. We're going with Lucian. No, we're going with Poppy. I totally agree as well. Also, just wholesome. Like, look at those eyes. Those eyes, like, compared to the Lux eyes, which are like, why aren't you farming? Those eyes are like, how can I help? You're right. In a natural disaster, you want Poppy by your side. Plus, she's got a hammer.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Hammer's always... When is a hammer not handy? On the Titanic. That's probably why. All right. The final one, we had an uneven amount of champions here in Demacia. So it's a...
Who got the bye?
Who's auto-seeded?
No, we just decided to do a three-way. So it's Morgana versus Fiora versus Kale. Who are you going to pick?
Wow.
And a reminder, the champs who are not picked, they're gone. There's no losers bracket.
Yeah, okay. So I have a thing against Kale because someone said at the initial start, like, who has armor like that just completely leaves your abdomen and groin open, that like are the two of the most vital parts in a sword fight. So I agree. Like, Kale absolutely is just not an option in this. Fiora, annoying. Very annoying. So I think by process purely of elimination, and because I liked My Chemical Romance when I was 17, I'm going to go with Morgana. Morgana's the one for me.
Sold with My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sold now.
We would go to a gig together, me and Morgana, I'm sure.
Skimmy?
Yeah, I think Morgana's the win. You know, she protects, she attacks, she heals, she damages, she does it all. You know, pops up the old shield and says, you will not be CC'd, you protect your mental, you're not going to go boom and lane, it's not going to be lost at 2 minutes in, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself. Hits the bind, locks them in place, makes you look so damn clean with your skill shots. I mean, what's not to love about Morgana?
I will say that all three of these are very annoying in their own ways. Like Morgana will hit a binding, and you get a lot of time to think about what you've done. You know, like it lasts forever. Fiora is just a pain in the butt, and Kale at level 16, you just want to cry. So I think we're just choosing the best of, and the emo is the best choice.
Kale for me is like the bully at school, because like they're like you're like that freshman, you know, the year 9 student coming on in. Kale is like that, you know, that high level year 13, like I own the school, I run this place. Look at me, look at my flashy wings, look at my abdomen. It looks cool. It makes no sense. I don't care. Think about that one, Spawn. Think about the lore about that. Dryad, Enchantress, who is it? I don't know. But my point being, Fiora has a Karen haircut. You know that Fiora goes riposte and like just goes off and just like complains and just goes, I want to complain to your manager. I want to complain to this lane set. I don't want to group up. I want to push the lane. Fiora sucks.
Has he not heard the like 10 warnings that we need to get in a game?
I was gonna say, like, they're the opposite of the bullies. They're like they're the farm to level 16. They're like the smart kids in school, where it's like, I got bullied the whole of school, so I'm gonna wait until I'm older, then I'm gonna buy a company just to fire you because you bullied me at level 1.
Okay.
That's what they are.
Fiora sucks, and even though Aussie Unicorn said that swordsmanship is a lost art, you liked My Chemical Romance Spawn when you were 17. I still love My Chemical Romance. Morgana for the win. My goodness. And boys, not only does Morgana win that, we're all going to a concert after this. This is very exciting. So there you go. Your first round of winners in LCK. Galio, Xin Zhao, Garen, Sona, Quinn, Poppy, Morgana. Who is going to be the greatest League of Legends champion? You're going to have to watch the rest of the split to find out as we work our way through the regions, culminating in the grand final where we pick a winner and then something happens. I assume we all get statues or something. All right, it's time to jump into the final game of the day. Speaking of statues, statues will be made of the winner for this one because it was the scheduled banger. We got surprised with game number 1, but game number 4, Order versus Chiefs. Let's get into it. Let's see who can take this one out, and it's all coming at you after this short break and the Meccas Champ Select.
I think teams probably look at us now as an actual threat. It's good to be amongst the top dogs, but for me the real test is taking on Chiefs next week because we haven't beat Chiefs this split, so this year actually. So it's just about the same as the legacy for me.
Gonna go for a knock-up, gonna try and take down Bio with him. He's gonna fall on down to the toe aggro.
That's game-winning DOS.
If teams don't want to ban Sion in Italy, like, feel free. We'll just keep picking it. I don't really think we're the dark horse. I think we are one of the best teams in the league, and if teams don't respect us, like, we'll just run over them. So we should be respected, yeah.
Play his character for a second. Facial vision not going to achieve too much, but Harry with the 3-man Emperor's Device.
Obviously, I've got the Nara on my arm, on my tattoo, so like I do want to try and bring that bad boy back to the meta. If I could, there'll be some bans getting thrown my way, so that's the plan.
Yes, guys, welcome back for the final time tonight. It's a big, big game here. Order up against the Chiefs. Order getting their first 2-0 up against some very, very strong opponents in the likes of Pinanet.gg as well as Legacy. And now they're up against a bigger opponent in the Chiefs. Funny to say that given the current standings, but Order have never beaten the Chiefs this year.
Never beaten the Chiefs this year is such a weird precursor. They are yet to beat the Chiefs this year. Absolutely correct, Skimmy. However, into Champion Select, and very surprised that Nidalee got through, and it was not first picked by Order. That is something that has been first picked a lot by Order in recent memory, Skimmy.
Yeah.
Instead going with Orianna, and this is, I think, Harry's first Orianna game.
This split... No, we got one game already.
Okay.
Wasn't successful on it, didn't win that game, but regardless, going to look to try and add himself into the mix of Orianna players that we discussed last game. And I'm glad you touched about the Nidalee, because for me, yeah, the last 2 games only played and teared up a storm on that pick. Was always finding really disastrous leads that spelled disaster for the opposition.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those games where Nidalee being left up, like maybe it's some form of trap, Skimmy, and I talk about this all the time. If you're going to pass over your best champion, maybe you have something that you really want to play into that champion, because otherwise I can't think of a really good reason to give that one over. Already on the Chiefs side, however, you see a really great poke composition starting to come into fruition. If they were to pick up something like a Zoe here, it could be really beneficial for them going into that mid-game. Instead, they're looking at a LeBlanc, something that we haven't seen in quite some time.
Getting a bit of a trade-off between what works best for both these teams. Ezreal continues to have this insane presence and continues to get picked as a first-place champion, and both Katsuri and Rare love it right now. It's a country mile ahead of any other AD carries they've played so far, but with the Orianna being denied away, it will mean that Claire gets to go back to basics of being a pop-off assassin mage and look to try and burst you down.
Is this the first LeBlanc game? Surely not. Surely someone's played LeBlanc before this split. There's been 2 games. Both losses, Skimmy. Suman and Chaz have picked this up. I felt like I hadn't seen a LeBlanc in a very long time. And it has been quite a while.
It's been a meta revolving around the likes of Ori, Syndra, Twisted Fate, Azir. Those have been the staple picks, if you will. Okay, well, Chiefs will go for that Scion ban. You saw their Swiper discussing, hey, if they're going to ban it or they're going to let it through, we're going to continue to abuse it, but not going to happen on their watch.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. And I wonder what else they ban away here. Because you can see right now that Order's composition is quite stationary. So I wonder if there is an Ornn or something waiting for the Chiefs lineup. We've seen Thien play a fair amount of Ornn actually in recent memory, and he has got much better at the tank role, Skimmy. I think that when Swiper left the Chiefs, the big tank role was a void to fill. When last year, when the Chiefs wanted to play tanks in the top lane, they would play Swiper. When they wanted to play Riven, they would play Thien. But he has learnt very, very well. I'm actually incredibly impressed by Romeo's progress as a player so far in his career. He's certainly been very good.
Well, that's a surprise. Despite 10-13 with a major nerfs to Yuumi having fallen out of favour, still going to ban it away. And given that the Chiefs have got first 3 picks with a ton of AP ratios behind them, they need some hard-hitting AD damage or some tankiness to facilitate the ability to make those fights happen on their terms. Currently hovering this set. Ornn is still available as well, as is the Aatrox. Some staple picks here that Tien can play around with.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great 4th pick coming out of the Chiefs because it's a flex Skimmy. The 2 roles they need to fill right now are actually top and support.
Yep.
And Set does well in both of those roles. So we'll see exactly how Order try and respond to this one. This is a very long-range composition coming through from the Chiefs. And Set is, in my opinion, one of the best disengaged champions in the game. You wait for Volibear to dive in, you wait for, something else to dive in, and then you just pick them up, you RKO them onto their backline, and you restart the fight again. Has a ton of CC, is surprisingly tanky for someone that builds more like a bruiser. So I think Set, he's one of my favourite champions to play, and I think that both Dragku and Thien could have a good performance on it today.
I'm just amazed that the Bard has been allowed through and that Ada can just snatch that one up so easily at a position like this at 4th in the draft. They're going to go for the final pick here. It's going to be a Renekton. They're going to have to pick based on what they assume is going to be the matchups for the Chiefs. No craziness, no Gnar, given the buffs on 10-13. Still going to stick to what works, and Renekton is a staple in Swiper's roster.
Yeah, it certainly is, and definitely not blind pickable still. Skimmy, I think, has some matchups that it can punish, but still would suffer against a lot of mages, and obviously Aurelia can be the likes of those champions. And it is going to be actually Wukong picked up for Thien. I don't think we've seen him play it yet, Skimmy. I definitely didn't know he could play Wukong up there in the top lane.
Not a single game on Wukong. We've yet to see what he can do, but this is becoming a more and more contested pick in recent times. It really kind of fits the Chiefs' memo in terms of looking for those fights, having the ability to knock multiple members up, and I guess gives you a little bit of carry potential, which yes, Ornn can sort of fulfill that role, but kind of plays into the likes of what TN wants to do. Date your mind back to the likes of them going Akali, Diana between himself and Claire, just collapsing on a target and evaporating him in the heartbeat.
Yeah, he's a really great diver player. You absolutely hit the nail on the head there. He's also really great off the flank. And I think that the Chiefs right now have a composition that really does need to look for the flank. They need to create what I call big fight skimmy. If everyone's like powered into the same area, you would think the Bard, the Orianna, the Volibear are going to be better at their jobs of creating a wombo combo situation. But in the scenario where the Chiefs are attacking from multiple different directions, you would feel that this one certainly can go heavily in their favor. They've just got better skirmish champions, I think, as opposed to the outright team fight. And we know the skirmish is exactly where the Chiefs thrive. That is why they're second on the ladder right now. And they would be pushing for nearly an equal first place spot with a win here, I believe. They would be 8-3, so one game behind Legacy, but inching ever closer to looking for that first place spot again.
Certainly would be, and obviously on the hot back end of that would be Order. If they were to get a win here today, it would actually go tied equal with the Chiefs at second. So a big upset is on the cards. Actually tied also with the Direwolves too. So we could also be shifting the balance of power with multiple teams tied at third to now make multiple teams tied at second instead. But everybody's still looking at the throne and saying, can we be the ones to upset and secure the first place? We're going to jump into the ref for game number 4 of the night here in the OPL for week number 6. Order on the blue side up against the Chiefs. First thing that springs to mind is once again we do have another Volibear jungle. It's for the most part a pretty easy time coasting through level 6.
Yeah, it certainly has. Volley is one of those champions. It's quite difficult to punish Skimmy just because he's really quick, the first thing. And also he's surprisingly tanky with the shield, with obviously the maul being able to give him some health back. So I'm obviously a huge fan of Volibear at the moment. In saying that, Nidalee, quite a good matchup and one of Croc's better champions. Seen him played in solo queue quite a fair amount. And if you ever give Croc an advantage in champion select, I feel like he's one of the best junglers at the moment, Skimmy, of translating that across into play. You only have to think back to the time where it was against Legacy and Croc was on this very pick where he was able to take all of that top lane farm and then carry.
I think that is, if you were to discuss, making a resume of your top plays, that is definitely one that goes down firmly at the top of those clips to be discussed here. Now, turning our attention to bottom lane, obviously Ezreal was the hotly contested AD carry between the two. They're going to go for the Ashe. They're still going to be able to fill the role of harassing from afar and locking down a member. No doubt going to see Katsuri opt into the Iceborne Gauntlet later on to sort of fill the same toolkit, if you will. What's interesting for me is Drake, who's continued evolution, has already played a game on the set, but is going to have a hard time going into Ayla here, looking to try and be aggressive, no doubt running the Hex Flash as well to try and find those face breakers as often as possible. But Ayla, this is a staple in his arsenal as well, going to make it quite difficult with Cosmic Bindings landing against the wall.
Yeah, and I mean, Bard isn't necessarily the best laner, Skimmy, so I'm very curious as to why Ayla feels that he can play Bard into these two champions. Especially with an aggressive jungler coming out. Maybe a little bit of disrespect, dare I say, against the new support player, but I think Dragku surely has started to claw some form of respect from Oceanic bottom lane so far. But you can see Order's bottom lane doing a fairly good job. Rare must have missed experience somewhere, Skimmy, because he hit level 2 at a disjointed time to the Bard. Unless the Bard was able to grab some Mad Meeps level 1, I don't think there should have been that much of a difference.
Will be interesting to see nonetheless. But let's not gloss over the fact that once level 6 comes online, the wombo combo setup that this Bard will present, the Tempered Fate making the life of a Shockwave, a Tempered Fate, the Stormbringer, as well as the Enchanted Arrow, that much easier to land, stick, and delete the sort of wombo combo response that the Chiefs will be gearing up for themselves.
Yeah, you can already see that this bottom lane is going heavily in Order's favour. Ezreal doesn't win very many lanes, Skimmy, but he also shouldn't lose very many at the same time. And it does seem right now that, 20 to 14 CS and just wave after wave crashing. Not even necessarily the chip damage that's going across, but just the lane state is very, very risky.
Croc was hovering top side as a big wave was crashing in there for TN. You can see the discrepancy between 23 to 8. You need to do the best job possible to try and CS that underneath the tower. As only has his eyes set on this bottom lane instead. Going to look to try and pick up the first scuttle. Has the extra protection of Swiper there to guarantee the top scuttle as well and potentially bully Croc away from it.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. The fact that Croc has now entered River, even though he doesn't have top lane pressure, and the fact that his mid lane was off map. He's actually just used the teleport to get back in. So that is a very aggressive play coming across from the Nidalee, but I like it. It's obviously worked out for him.
So a nice little start here for Order. 4 minutes in, they found priority and pressure in the map, in the lanes that matter for them. Be very curious to see what happens when these teleports come online, because it will be Clear that's running it as opposed to the cleanse on Hayri's Oriana. He is currently down, so the top laners will be the ones that can look to try and influence things if a potential jungle gank were to take place, but the vision will dissuade Croc from showing his face here.
And Order's bottom lane just sticking around, even though they're crashing these big waves, Skimmy. They're not actually choosing to take any recalls. The 4-minute 30 recall is, I think, one we spoke about last week because of the dragon timing. The fact that if you come back out onto map at 5 minutes and then they're forced to take a slightly delayed recall, you can actually start dragon on spawn in a lot of games and just get it. However, fight in the bottom lane.
Certainly is. He's going to flash out of that Haymaker there. Not going to receive a lot of damage there. Rare will keep his life intact. Flash into the Magical Journey. Forced to burn double summoners as Ayla hangs on to his. That's a big win there for Dragku, who burns an Ignite, and will still have the Hex Flash to play around with.
It's actually a huge win for Katsuri, right? Because Katsuri... Oh, Croc. Doesn't get stunned.
Doesn't get stunned. Will secure that Golem as well. Going to be quite content with that one. As he was searching there for Rare on Lethal.
And Rare staying under this turret means if he takes one stray spear, will probably be lethal as well and go down. You can see, just trying to pick up as much of this farm under the turret as possible. Now, Skimmy, so probably wishes he had taken an earlier recall in this lane.
Certainly does, but that's going to be swiping out, getting aggressive, getting very close to level 6 as the inside beautiful trade as Conqueror fully stacks on up, but it's going to be quite desirable. The amount of rage he has as a result. Now the punishment comes out here from Rare. One Mystic Shot goes flying, one auto attack goes connecting, and the Exhaust will go through as well. He's going to turn his attention elsewhere because he knows that their kill is secured. Out comes only saying, "What's up, bro? Let's go for a punishment." There is the double kill. That is a connect and a bait potentially that Rare utilize to great effect.
However, the fact that a kill went over to this Ezreal that looked like it was being punished, Skimmy, is a really good thing for the Chiefs bottom lane. Sure, they are down in gold, but that is a very, very nice play. And off the back end of that as well, they know that everyone's reset on the bottom side of the map. Swipe it nearly gets 1v1. That's going to be a Croc Dragon pickup.
Certainly is. Action all happening around at the same time right now as we tune in with the replay to see exactly how things came to fruition.
Yeah, you can see that Katsuri, did he flash then? He did. Order want to try and contest this.
Yeah, they jump in just a little bit too late. The smite secures it as Croc's now forced to flash away, but the Bear says hello. He connects and he deletes. He makes them pay the ultimate price. You get a Cloud Dragon, but we get another kill and 2 kills on a Volley Bear this early on. I love to see it.
He's going to be a real tanky boy. I think Bryce Ejim, my old co-caster, used to call him the Thick Bear back in the day. He is going to be a very, very beefy boy, Skimmy. You can see the bottom lane is going to resume pushing. And some good bottom side vision here. However, Croc in the same area of the map as Only, and Dragku is cheating across.
What can they do right now? Dragku's just going to jump into the room and say hello. He's going to bring in Harry first of all, clearing the hunt, looking for that one-shot potential. Dragku's going to be very, very low now. 2-man Haymaker before he falls on down. Doesn't have to showstopper, so can't look to actually try and take anybody out of the equation. That's going to be 2 kills deleted and gone. Nidalee taken off the map, and another kill handed over to the jungler. Only is insane at this point.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Only should have taken that one, Skimmy, as now they turn the turret off.
They do indeed. He gets stunned underneath that tower and does not care. So much health when that ultimate comes on through. And despite Katsuri getting the kill moments prior, unable to do much there.
And now Swiper takes a little bit of chip damage, which could be a bad news, Bears, just because the top lane is getting frozen against him, Skimmy. And you see he does need a head up there now. See whether Order actually just go into a full lane swap. Looks like they are going to. But they are up 3,000 gold.
It's crazy. This early on, you give any kill to a Renekton, make him relevant for as long as possible. He's rushed to Tabby, so he's going to reduce so much of that trading potential that Wukong can try and deliver. Question now becomes, what will be his build? Will we be seeing a Black Cleaver? Will we see a Death's Dance? Or will we see the dueling potential of a rushed Blade of the Ruin King?
Yeah, good question. I actually don't know how you would play this matchup out. However, I do know that Order now looking for positioning around this Rift Herald. Do they have ultimates up and available? No on the Ashe, And you can see that Katsuri currently does have level 6, so you feel like Rare needs to stick around and get some experience for himself before they kick this fight off, Skimmy.
Yeah, he's hovering mid right now, trying to hoover up as much CS as possible. Very close to level 6. We can't see it right now, but I'm sure this minion wave all the next would almost guarantee it, as we see it connect now through.
Not sure if I like this fight for Order, however. Ayla looking for it.
Dracu's still wanting level 6 himself right now, so Temper Fake could be a big deciding. That's going to be it, getting chucked out right now. Cock the kill target, cock the connection. That's going to be Intrited Arrow that follows things up. Stun after stun, CC after CC. The spear will be run away from. Actually, Regate's
Shockwave.
A three-man Shockwave. Harry looking to do the job. As that's going to be Wukong responding in similar AoE fashion, jumping into the back line. Out comes the stopwatch, trying to prevent that one kill that could turn the tide of the fight. Katsuri takes down the ADC. Rare is gone, and members are very, very low. Harry sidestepping the Mystic Shot, nearly facilitating an easy double kill for the Chief star player.
And really well played by the Chiefs. We mentioned that they have to make the fight big, Skimmy. That they have to be able to land poke and they have to make the fight big. Well, exactly that happened in that little skirmish. You could see that they were able to live the initial team fight. The poke was hitting. Claire and Thean just ducking in and out of the fight, making it nearly impossible to prioritize the correct targets. They get themselves the kill, they get themselves the Herald, and they bring the gold back to only 2,000.
A beautiful setup there that allows Chiefs to get themselves back in before this game starts to get out of control. They'll need that. Wasn't the cleanest execution, as you would have seen, with the resources being thrown their way to lock and place Croc, and by sure Chiefs made them punish.
But when you're 3,000 gold down, you don't expect clean execution, right? You expect it to be a little bit messy. You expect it to just be throw everything you had at them, and I think that's exactly what the Chiefs do, and they should 100% just be applauded for how well these guys fight from behind, Skimmy.
Oh, absolutely.
We talk about it all the time, but you know, you're a 0-2 Nidalee. How do you make yourself relevant? Claire, 0-0-1, not the spot he would want to be on Orianna as well, but every single time they get into these team fights, it just looks like they have a little bit more than their counterparts.
And this is an aggressive start to a game that's quite characteristic of these two teams. We talk about some teams looking to try and play the late game scaling, some teams looking to try and delay until 40 minutes and onwards. Between these two teams, the average game time is 29 minutes. The longest we've ever had between these two is 34. So we're not looking at any late game scaling for the most part. We are just looking at action upon action.
Yeah, absolutely. Not known for their late game. Oh, Swiper in some trouble here.
He certainly is. R2's going to connect. Spear goes through. And like you say, Croc, how does he play from behind? Well, he guarantees himself the kill. And the Herald, if he wants to, could be deployed because Order had their eyes set on the next dragon.
Man, that Swiper just getting caught on the weak side, Skimmy. I feel like this has happened a couple of times in the last few weeks. But should not have fallen down there. He was in river without any support coming across from the rest of his team, and that might be top turret falling down. Chiefs drop it very early, maybe because they knew the Bard was in recall. And they will get 3 plates and just look to get themselves out.
Yep, wanting to guarantee that one before a Temper Fake could come across and negate it completely. So they will find a bit of a tempo advantage and some plates to continue to build up the lead in TN's favour. Nice little acquisition by him, given the state of Swiper getting that early kill and able to shove in the way first and foremost. But now, Rare alone underneath this turret, waiting for Ayla to aid him with some protection. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, now Draco actually does get stunned up. Damage going to come across.
He does. Arrow's there to connect.
Oh, what a great buffer.
Tempered Fate now, but that's going to be a teleport that prevents that cooldown being utilised to its full effect. Katsuri very aggressive there with the Arcane Shift.
Had to be. That's a mistake from the Chiefs, Skimmy. They got baited in really heavily there. You could see that Order were just kind of tickling them, keeping them interested. There is no objective on the bottom side of the map, so the fact that the end, without ultimate, had to teleport down there to save his bottom lane is definitely a big deal. Swiper didn't have his teleport available as well, so there was no way he could have actually made it to that play if it had been an extended fight. So the fact that they see the teleport, they get the heck out of dodge, and they get Swiper a couple of turret plates, very well played on the bottom side.
A big win for them from a macro standpoint as to what they can look to use now, because Swiper will have his ultimate and his teleport coming up very shortly as well, so if they want to try and make a cross-map play, even without an objective to look to contest, they most certainly can do, as Oni continues to be that bully in the jungle.
Gone a little bit quiet though, Skimmy. With how well he started this game, I would expect that he would have been a little bit more active on Summoner's Rift. However, it doesn't seem to be the case. Does, however, spot Croc crossing to the other side of the map, so some more turret plates should go down here. Only 8 seconds of them remaining. Surprised that Ayla's not hitting the turret to get the extra plate. He just instead lets all the money disappear.
Yeah, we see this time and time again happen here in Order games, where they look to try and facilitate Rare with as much gold as possible. Make sure that he gets a good buffer, because right now the rest of his team are ahead.
Swiper's about to be 3-man dove.
Certainly is. He will have his ultimate available, but can he dodge out this one? A red buff and an Nedley. He's going to go Cyclone to start off with. Players on the hunt as well. Wants some kills for that one-shot potential. He's going to try and duke and dive as much as he can for the meantime. We've seen him in situations like this before, but how long can he live? Can he survive more necessarily? And hang on a minute. Well, that's a shockwave underneath the turret, and that's Harry turning things around.
Certainly is, and Claire nearly fell down, Skimmy. Look at Claire's health. So I wonder if they can actually stick around and try and get this turret. Order, on the other hand, actually chunked out Katsuri and might look for the first turret of their own. It is going to be a little bit of a race, but Order look like they are going to win it.
There they are. Harry still looking for it as Croc passes on forward with that proc and actually might pay the ultimate price. One Order would have done it. Very, very close there. Croc flirting with danger.
Certainly was. The cross-map arrow is going to be spotted on Creep, so just thrown for a celebration, Skimmy. I don't really know why that one came across. But that is going to be, once again, just trades across the map. And these two teams, like two heavyweight boxers, really, they're just duking it out. And I like kind of that you set the stage of how these two teams play, Skimmy. You know, the, what did you say, 29-minute average game time, 34 max duration game time?
Yep.
When I think about Order versus Chiefs, I think about the Fiora versus Kled kind of checkmate play style that we saw in split number 1. Swiper trying to group, trying to team fight. BN trying to side lane, trying to show his mechanical skill. And really what that makes is a very exciting, fast-paced game. And I think these two teams continue to deliver the goods in that regard.
We have some games that get quite slow at times, but these teams on average, 27 kills is what we get to see, and that's why we're having action like this. Every single time these teams get a chance to fight, they want to make it a living reality. Katsuri keeps on down.
You could see Only really wanted to go there. He would have been screaming that Croc had failed that one into the wall. That's going to be a Predator pop from Dragku, actually, trying to get some form of positioning, but with no AD carry, you would expect that that should just be Rift Herald gone.
Certainly would be, and this is great timing here for Order, as they can go from Herald into the next Dragon. They'll be spawning in under 20 seconds. Good bit of tempo happening at the right time.
Certainly could be. But the Chiefs should actually have positioning over this Dragon. I don't know whether Order can recross. They can, however, threaten top lane turret and potentially drop Rift Herald mid lane to threaten the 2-for-1. It does not look like they're going for that, Skimmy. It looks like they want to fight. They do have ultimates available.
So they're going to drop the Herald first and foremost. Obviously the plates have gone down, so this headbutt will do a fair chunk of damage, if not one-shot the turret. Now they're going to say, okay, we're going to try and win on two different fronts right now. Stun goes out into Croc, who then, nearly received the arrow as well. The exhaust comes out and only has one target in sight, and that is delete this jungler. Dragku, no flash, no chance to survive. Tien left to his devices in the wings, looking for a flank opportunity. He has the flash and he has the cyclone, but he just can't find a target without his team in success. And that's going to be the Dragon going across, and Order just winning on all fronts.
Yeah, Order looking really good today, Skimmy. And I, don't want to jinx them, but it does have to be brought up that last week they beat number 1 and number 2 in the league at the time, Pentanet as well as Legacy. There was a big question about whether that was the new Order or whether that was Order being consistently inconsistent just 2 games in a row. Well, it looks like they're continuing some good form right now because they are 4,000 gold up, have themselves a pair of dragons. And the map looks like it's about to be broken wide open as well as top turret looks like it's going to fall soon.
Gold seeming to be in all the right places as well. You've got a tanky jungler, you've got a carry that's looking to try and get himself online quite early as well. And Ayla given the resources to be a menace across the map to roam and assist and look for fights to continue the narrative that this is going to be a fast-paced game with plenty of action to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, and Ayla, I think, is actually one of the unsung heroes of Order, Skimmy. And I've spoken about it before, but this is a guy that had a really big rookie year, was kind of the Isles of last year, if you will. Joined Order, is actually the shot caller of the team. I don't know whether many people would know that with veterans like Swiper and Only on the team. It's very strange to give the 19-year-old, Melbourne kid the shot calling reins, but does a lot of the speaking for the team, and he's just a very, very good player. I think his bard's been terrific so far this game.
Certainly got a lot of great Bard players in the OPL.
We actually do.
You know, we're having that as a designated ban and then denial. Harry going to receive a ton of damage his way. True Shot Rush to try and get on the action. And Tempered Fate won't do much as they run away, but the Enchanted Arrow will land now. What can Order find in form of revenge? Side tips out that one. Tien dives in for a Hail Mary attempt at a last-ditch effort to try and get some form of lifesteal, but it's not going to be enough. The punishment is big, and it is real. And I don't think you can run away from a blue smite jungler, and that's going to be another kill going across to Renekton, who's got himself a Black Cleaver and does a ton of damage.
X-Flash coming across. Not going to find anything, however. And as you mentioned, that Renekton starting to get a little bit beefy. Oh.
No words.
Skimmy. No words needed. As soon as they see someone on their screen at the moment, Skimmy, Order just try to kill them. They have no chill.
This is what we want, and this is what we love, and this is what we're getting right here on display today. The stun, and I was just going to say for Claire, you know, he's been keeping up. He's been looking to try and find these plays across the map right now. He's looking to try and hit that moment where he can be that one-shot champion. It's getting rough now.
But despite all the things we're talking about, Skimmy, the gold lead still not exploding. We take another look at this. Chiefs doing what they do best, playing around Thien's lane. Temper Fate, as you mentioned, missed, but the second global in the Ashe ult will land. And you see that Thien turns around, tries to pump out some damage, and this is a worrying sign for Order, because you see that he is quite tanky, Skimmy. Doesn't fall down all that quickly, but as you mentioned, the two beefy boys are able to catch up. Black Cleaver done for Swiper means he does a lot of damage.
The response now for the Chiefs is the Luden's Echo having been completed here on Clear. We've got the Zonias on Croc now to ensure that if he is looking to try and set up these plays proactively, he can try and buy a little bit more time as a result. And now Tien also fulfilling the Bruiser role will have that Black Cleaver to assist in some big damage. One that will only benefit Katsuri, no doubt, when that Muramana evolves. Not sure how many stacks he's on right now, but I'm sure we can't be too far away. We tend to see it around, what, the 18 to 22 minute mark as the standard evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's been set that far behind. He goes back, gets his Iceborne Gauntlet, so Skimmy, you would expect to transform any minute now, really.
Yeah.
Order actually pinging the bottom lane turret, which is very strange, because Baron is up and available, Skimmy.
So it's an interesting shot call. They don't have a single teleport right now, whereas the Chiefs do, so they can afford to make a play like this. They want to try and force Order's hand.
Okay. They managed to get it. Very surprised that the Chiefs just didn't V-line towards that bottom lane. Katsuri now might be caught out.
He's in a whole host of trouble. Forced to Arcane Shift away. Now going to receive that. Nope. Going to flash out of that one as well. So Order find what they want. And that is remove a ton of mobility that the Ezreal will possess. And that could be crucial in deciding who wins this next Dragon fight up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it certainly could be. And Order look like they want to take a reset. Skimmy, this reset is very close to the Dragon spawn. I'm not sure whether they can get back there in time, but we'll see. They're coming out of the base. 20 seconds left. This is a hallmark Order play, the late reset into face check, vision, and die. However, it looks like Claire also going to take a reset. He has the teleport, however, so maybe not as much of a cardinal sin.
You can see that Katsuri continuing to spam away his abilities. He must be so dangerously close right now. There it is. That's a monumental power spike for the Chiefs to play around. And now you've got two AD carries that can really dictate the pace of the fight with the slowing CC. And we've seen what they can do when they're on these two different champions. Could be pivotal in deciding how these fights playing out, allowing the rest of their team to really stick to a target. You're talking about the Bruiser boys in Order. You're talking about the Assassin squad from the Chiefs. That's their third Dragon. They're sitting now on a potential sole point.
But the Chiefs, I just saw the gold there, Skimmer, and the Chiefs carries aren't really all that far behind. It's really only Katsuri. And as we always mention with Ezreal, that this spike in the game kind of, you know, shores up a lot of the Ezreal weaknesses, I guess is a fair way to say it. Rare needs to be careful. He's being marked here by Claire.
Oh, Hayri, despite his senses, deciding not to go in that barrage. Claire's going to hang around, however. He's going to decide against it in the end.
And Order again just grouping as 5 mid lane. Have been on the front foot now for maybe the last 5 minutes, Skimmy. Probably fair to say. We saw that really nice Rift Herald Tango come out of the Chiefs. But since then, Order has looked like they have control over this map. Bottom lane now big stacking wave. Would expect someone from Chiefs to go down there and deal with it. But they're not. They're just letting it build up still.
It is quite interesting. Rare has now just gone back to base and picked himself up an Aegis, so you've got a fair bit of resistances now to not get one shot based on the vulnerability. But he has no
Croc got
mobility.
nailed again.
Croc's going to be stunned here. Now going to go into the stopwatch. The Enchanted Arrow will not connect based on just that.
Got out.
Managed to get out by a ton of time for his team to reposition. But out comes the Stormbringer. Slap it on the ground. Can they find the kill, or will the knock-ups be too damn clean? Load into Cyclone, into knock-up, into damage. That's a 2-kill start here for the Chiefs. That's going to be so perfectly poised to allow them to try and bridge this gap that was a 6,000 gold lead against them. And 2 kills like that, Croc really bought some time.
Yeah, he certainly did. Really nice stopwatch usage there, Skimmy. It was actually the completed Zhonya, so he's going to be able to do that whenever he wants. And Order just over-committing for it. Threw out an Ashe ultimate into Narnia. Such an important engagement tool. Shockwave only onto the 1-3 Nidalee. And then the Assassins in the backline just able to clean up. And they burnt all of the summoner spells, Skimmy. You have a look at it. You know, Harry no longer has either of his summoner spells. Rare 7 no longer has either of his either. And that means that the next team fight for the Chiefs is just going to be easier. They have more mobility. The Flash and the Cleanse means way more on the Order members than it does on the Chiefs.
Certainly does, because Chiefs obviously burnt theirs as well, but their toolkits available to the champions themselves allow them to still continue to be mobile, and that has to be the biggest talking point from that one. Bit of frustration, I can imagine, they're coming from Order. They started off with the Tempered Fate. It looks so perfectly poised for an easy stun with the Cosmic Binding, but a good 5-second window, a big buffer of time, which sort of caught them frozen like statues as to, well, how do we respond? What do we do now? And the Chiefs punish you. That's what they thrive on.
Yeah, the Chiefs, much like Legacy, really are great at punishing mistakes. But they're a little bit more proactive with their Skimmy, I think it's very fair to say. Swiper now has 3 members on his side of the map. Baron is a real objective right now. The Chiefs need to make sure they don't overextend for this one.
Claire continues to go hunting once again. Still does have that teleport, and is actually going to delay and prevent the recall attempt here from Swiper.
Probably a good one-on-one matchup for Claire right now as well. You can see he can even go past the turrets and look very aggressively. Harry has been spotted on top lane wave as well. So the Chiefs is going to continue to stay aggressive here.
Draco going to blind face check, however, not going to get stunned, but going to cop a bit of a beating, drop down to half, but can receive a nice little heal there from Nidalee as Chiefs continue to find priority in the mid lane and will eventually take down this turret.
And they're going to get bottom turret as well, Skimmy, and all of a sudden we're going to be talking about maybe a 4,000 gold game, where it looked like it was going to be around 6 or 7 after the last fight. Harry is starting to get himself a CS lead, however. And Order again just clearing out this mid lane wave as a 5-man unit. This must be a game plan thing, Skimmy. I've never seen Order group this much on mid lane wave as 5. I think, you know, since the team started playing the game.
I wonder if it's a potential vulnerability of knowing that they are very mobile right now and can't afford to be caught out based on you know, what Chiefs still possess.
Yep.
Sticking as 5, having the tools to then respond to it. Yes, they're going to bleed map control, and that's what's going to result in Chiefs picking up 2 turrets for that. But they know they're still ahead. They're up by 4k, as you mentioned. Soul point up in 15 seconds. That's why mid priority is so damn important.
But they need to be able to clear out their flanks. If we've seen one thing from the Chiefs, it's that they play around this flanking style so incredibly well. As our Draco might have been caught out here.
Indeed, going to buff the Enchanted Arrow there with a great force to flash away. True Shot Barrage is the response, and that will mean a teleport will come here from Claire to join in on the action. A full 5v5 soon to take place. The Tempered Fate onto Free. This spells Wombo Combo. That's exactly what's going to happen. You throw me in and I'll throw you back on out. Swiper gets deleted as Claire will find that 1v1 kill, and Tien will do the knock-up and he'll just dash on out.
Claire!
Living and laughing is the Chiefs right now because they say, you jump on us, but we always find the counter engage.
Certainly do, and Claire's still looking over these walls, Skimmy, right now. He is a man possessed on the LeBlanc, and he's just getting so much done. And Harry didn't use the Shockwave that fight. It looked like it was a perfect setup for the Wombo combo. Maybe the Volley Bear just came out too quickly. But you got to say that that is a big cooldown not utilized in that skirmish.
It was kind of funny, if you will, given the fact that most of those bruisers spent more time up in the air than actually playing the game themselves. We had knock-ups upon knock-ups and players flinging themselves all around over the show to try and make something happen, but in the end, the carries were the ones that dictated the pace of that fight. And Claire's starting to hit that risky moment, right, as a LeBlanc, where they can look to try and just dive deep and between turrets and say, look, the fight's not done until I say it's done.
Yeah, and just insane mobility coming across from that specific pick. It really does outperform Orianna in the ability to be able to put on pressure. I think Orianna, obviously, raw damage-wise, is going to do more than LeBlanc, but the pressure of this mid lane assassin and the ability to kind of zone away an 80 carry, or in this example, he's just been zoning away Swiper a lot of the time. Does seem to be really impressive. Now Order, maybe looking a little bit desperate here, Skimmy, because they're going for a side lane play themselves.
They are indeed, and TM will have that flash, so we'll have the disengage potential. Going to start off first of all the clone, and we'll juke them to great effect. Will the arrow coming out? This time it connects. Next going to start him for a fair bit of time. This should spell disaster, and that should spell defeat. He knows it. He's not going to burn any summoners. He needs that for the next fight, and if something like that had been burnt, the ability to try and control and contest a Baron would have been hampered.
Certainly would have been. If he had to live for a couple more moments, though, Skimmy, I feel like the Baron might have even been started by the Chiefs members. Because they did have a very good inside track. They only used one ultimate there, Order. Actually, they used two, because they did use the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well. Very important to note. And Harry actually steps on a trap, so they know exactly where Order is right now, the Chiefs. 17 seconds, maybe trying to bait a teleport out, something along those lines.
They are shredding through this Baron like you would not believe right now. One combo from the LeBlanc and Harry gets dropped down to half. What can they do to try and turn this around? They're going to do that Baron dance that we tend to see from them. That's going to be the zone you straight away here from the Croc jungle. Dracu going through space and time and falls and eventually ran out of oxygen this time. Will not be wearing his space helmet here today, and Ayla is punishing him for that.
But that's just a teleport for a kill there, Skimmy. Order don't really get anything from that, apart from using their one teleport, and there will be 2 teleports up and available for the Chiefs quite soon, so you would say big swing, little reward, but that's already a 0-4 Dracu, so definitely not the most impactful pick. And Order just seem to be getting a little bit lost on Summoner's Rift. They definitely need this next dragon, otherwise you would feel that this game is going to be very, very difficult for them to win.
It's interesting because we typically speak of a Mountain Dragon really favouring the bruisers, the top laners, for instance. But in the current state of the meta, where we've got carries building the likes of their stance, it's no doubt going to empower that as well and continue to bridge the gap. But I don't want to get one shot, and especially when we're playing with 2 teams that are aggressive, that want to force out those wombo combos. Any kind of advantage, any kind of versatility there could pay off twofold.
Just call it what it is. Combat stats for these teams mean more than combat stats for other teams because they fight so bloody much, Skimmy. All they do is just punch each other. So I absolutely agree. I think actually the biggest benefactor of the Mountain Dragons right now would be Katsuri and Ram.
That's what I mean. I mean, the way they're building right now, it's just going to be a bunch of beefy boys.
The thick boys just running everywhere.
The Rusty squad, yeah, maybe some chafing, maybe a bit of a talcum powder between. I don't know where we're going with this one. It's maybe a little bit too DMCA.
Yeah, a little bit too graphic.
We'll move on from that one swiftly.
Level 16 achieved for the mid laners. Claire has himself a Void Staff, whereas Harry, yet to pick that one up, Skimmy, has gone instead with a Banshee's Veil. Maybe buying into that theory about the resistances just a little bit more. And here they go.
Here they go indeed. That's going to be the Predator proc, but not from only. Once again, the stopwatch proving to be so cantankerous in stopping down their attempts at starting out these fights on their terms. Both members get knocked up. It's going to be the Bruiser boys that look to try and start this and look to end it as Tien will eventually fall down once again. These stopwatches come out time and time again. A 3-man tempered fade. Ayla smurfing and Swiper deleting as he dashes on in and claps them with the axe from afar.
This fight just won't end.
They're looking for that first kill. Oh, the 2-man binding. Dirty, dirty performance. And Ayla continues to impress with the Meep squad.
Certainly does. Claire, however, has just baited Order into chasing him away. You feel like that would have been the mid lane base turret broken. Order still might get double objective, Skimmy. How quickly can they do this one? If they burn Smite here, they're not going for it. If they don't, they are. They burn the Smite, 25 seconds. They still want it. I don't know if they can do it this quickly. Okay, Baron is going to be the goal, Skimmy.
What can he do? Stop this
Ayla's
one.
just dead.
And this is so much trouble. Duke's on out, but eventually will be followed over that pit by the LeBlanc. Now, they are buying so much time for the resistance to rock up the cavalry to turn up to this situation. True Shot Bar is going to come and act as that extra member. Baron will be stopped. And the fight will continue as
Rare's
Clear
dead.
will eventually fall on down. Rare is gone, as you say. He's looking to try and be taken on out of this fight, but actually, hang on a minute. He survives just a little bit longer, goes for the 1v1 into the bruise and says, hello, you can't do much to me. I will slow you. You have no flash and you have no disengage. The Baron is a distant afterthought. The fight is forced. The fight is won. The fight is pretty sketchy.
It was actually Harry that died. I was looking at it, Skimmy, and I was like, how is the guy that has double summoner spell gonna die here? But he actually did. Apparently, Thean just wanted to take him out. Let's take another look at this one. So Claire on the back end, Claire on the front end of this fight dives in, gets Ayla. That is just such a huge pick before the fight even begins. And when these two members stack, I just expected it to be Rare that got blown up, but instead it was actually Harry, and it's just a very nice true shot barrage, and then the burst damage is there. As you had mentioned, however, the thick boys of Order were busy chasing down the assassin, and finally were able to clean him up, and they will just depart. But once again, Order back on this Baron instantly, Skimmy, not a moment's rest.
Not a moment's rest at all. They're hanging out with their new best friend right now, Big Nasher. Here's what they're saying hello to so far. Harry will still have that shockwave. I don't believe he actually had enough mana to commit to it last time as the True Shot Barrage now revealed was getting closer and closer. This is no longer a fate, so Smite still can daze. What can he do? Clear! How does he do it? He's stolen the Baron away.
And that is game-saving from the Chiefs mid laner. You feel like if they had have got that with the wave positioning, with the pick they were just able to generate on the top lane, that would be all. But Claire again saves his team this game.
From the clutches of defeat, the fake wasn't going to happen. The dance was not going to be committed. It was a fight of the age. The one that Order were gearing up to try and end this game. And Claire, insane.
He's been a monster this game, Skimmy. He's just been absolutely game-defining. Is this a bait coming across from Only? No, actually, Harry going to complete the recall, and now Only just there by himself.
They need to disengage and miss one. Draku does not have the flash. They cannot look to try and make that play, and the showstopper would be kind of disastrous from this kind of angle.
Okay, now what do the Chiefs need to do? Because I feel like, Skimmy, we've had some one-sided games so far today where the team that's losing hasn't had a way back in. But I feel like the Chiefs still have this game within reach. They are behind 5,000 gold. You know, it's nearly a full item discrepancy actually in the mid lane position, but you just wouldn't think that. With how well this LeBlanc has been piloted so far, I feel like a lot of this game is actually still on his shoulders. Ezreal just needs to be that affliction lock that we always talk about, the ability to pump out consistent DPS in these team fights while staying safe. But really, I feel like it is up to the Chiefs mid laner. Off the back end of the end CC, he needs to find Harry or he needs to find Rare, and he needs to be able to pick up an early kill if the Chiefs are to win this game.
He's certainly making a case for it so far as he's emitting that one-shot delete potential that is putting a bit of stress on Harry's shoulders to find the makings of a successful shockwave to try and turn the tide of these fights. We're venturing into uncharted territory. I mentioned only moments prior in this cast that the average game duration was 29 minutes and the longest game was 34. Well, here we are at 37 minutes in. A Baron steal like it was. For sure, the reason why.
Harry goes back, gets himself another needlessly large rod. So he's only moments away from grabbing himself a death cap as well, Skimmy, which you feel like could be game-changing. Because even given the shield for Rare at the moment, who has got himself an Infinity Edge. Ashe, not normally known to be a hyper carry, but in specific scenarios can certainly do a lot of damage if left untouched. Much like Aphelios enjoys people diving into her.
Order continue to lead, 5k up, and now they're going to force that fight. Clear is gone, deleted in a heartbeat, Baron buff or not, we don't care, we waited it out, and now we fight. Harry does what he can with a shockwave, takes out Croc, and now there's the stopwatch, everybody goes gold, and it's looking like the Oscars, and they're looking for a performance that is noteworthy of receiving the award itself. They want the ace, they're looking for it, they're hunting for it.
Claire is gone. Katsuri is the second to fall on down, but he is so damn nimble. It's going to be quite a tall order to try and find him. No pun intended, but no fight is going to pursue here. It's going to be Ayla actually 1v1ing the Bruiser and saying, I can do this.
But he just saved the game.
I'm going to stagger your death timers.
He just saved the game. That was game over. But he went and got the mid lane creep wave, Skimmy. And now Order can't end. And if he gets himself a kill here, Ayla will be the one to pick it up in the end. But that was, once again, just these clutch moments from the Chiefs members being able to stall this game out. Let's take another look at the fight. This is Claire. He used his ultimate to dash forward and didn't have flash. And Rare instantly recognized that and just fires an arrow. That's really great decisive play coming across from the Order lineup. As you mentioned, it looked like Harry was gone. But very nice shockwave, and we'll be able to pick up Croc. And then Katsuri living on the back end of this fight as well. Again, Skimmy, if Thean doesn't make the smart choice to go get that creep wave, I feel like it is game over. But instead it is just going to be the Elder Dragon being delayed for as long as possible. Not really expecting to see that one, but we'll see exactly why they were doing that. Maybe having a chat about what they wanted to do with it.
Possibly. Typically you see that when you're waiting for a respawned teammate, but not to be the case here because everybody's up and alive.
They were definitely all alive.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. You mentioned before that Tien saved the game with that proxy on the way, but obviously the Elder was just about to spawn as well. So with that numbers advantage, they had a plethora of options available at their disposal. Now, this should give them the combat summoners, the advantages that we've discussed between Mountain Soul mitigation and Elder Soul damage amplification to go for that fight, to go for that end.
But the thing is, Skimmy, is you can technically stall out an Elder Dragon. With the way these teams are playing, unlikely, but you can do it. You cannot stall out your Nexus being destroyed in a 2v5 scenario. So 100% game-changing by the Chiefs top laner. Only no longer takes damage from members. The time has passed from where the Volibear took damage, Skimmy. But Order not able to simultaneously crash these waves. We'll see whether they can actually take a turret.
End or not, the Baron will be spawning in 20 seconds and they will have that Elder buff available for them if they want to use that for a fight around that Baron pit. They're going to find the first inhibitor in the mid lane. Question now raised, are they going to go for the end or are they looking to try and crash another wave? The first Nexus turret is the focus. Claire and the Chiefs need to find that pick. That's the arrow now into Katsuri, but no follow-up as a result. They've got the sort of eyes set on two different places at once.
They used a crucial ultimate against him, and the last time we saw Order do this, they lost the team fight merely moments later. See whether this time they can play it a little bit more patient, because they're going to need to.
First next turret is going to fall on down. Second in their sights, Draku fishing for an ultimate to try and use as he goes in there with a Hex Slash.
And they go.
Clone! The whole of Order go up into the air. Tempered Fate will zone out Katsuri for such a long time, but the Elder buff is disgusting. And they get evaporated in mere moments. They hit that threshold, they hit that moment of their health bars, and they are gone. And now they are farming you underneath that turret. Again, they went back, left, right, and center. Went everywhere. We had it all. We had action, and we've got 40 kills to flex around. We're 42 minutes in. That is Order getting the ace and beating the Chiefs for the first time this year.
And what a performance from the boys from Melbourne. Able to pick up a much-needed win there against who Swiper called actually, you know, the most important team to beat in this split. Said he hadn't done it so far this year. Now 3 in a trot. Might even be 4 Skimmy on a trot. And Order looking the goods in the last couple of weeks.
They certainly are, and one big advocate of the Bard plays themselves is Big Rusty. What do you have to make there? Because I think for me, Ayla was smurfing it up a storm with some of these clutch bindings and the ability to just make sure that everything came together.
Hold their ultimate, and everyone's terrified of the fact that you've got it, and then you just use it at the right time. And Ayla was definitely the latter in that one. He was outstanding. You know, most of the Bard ultimates were good. They never affected his own team. Only impressed by what we saw out of them, and that's what, 4 in a row now for Order. That is 4 in a row, 1-0 this week, chasing their second 2-0 in a row. I mean, they're destined to lose 5 in a row after this, right? Surely. Like, have we lost the rules of Order?
No, because isn't... what are Order ranked at the moment?
It's equal second.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Well, you're fine. You're fine. But you do probably need to lose 5 in a row so that you can then make the comeback to get into playoffs. Like that's just generally how it works. So well done to Order. Pretty decisive win there. I'll tell you what, there's been some surprising results today on the OPL, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Before we wrap this up and head into the MPL, which of course we encourage you guys to hang out with us there, a quick reminder, the 2 comps that we're running, EPOS want to give you some headsets. All you need to do for that is reply to a tweet on the @OPL Twitter account telling us your favorite gaming memory, the most out-of-the-world gaming memory, something that was awesome, hilarious, whatever. We'll pick 2 winners, and those winners will get GSP 600 headsets. There are terms and conditions on watch.lolesports.com about that. And then NeoSurf, again, want you to be part of the opening titles of the show, and as a reward, the winner of the best video sent in to join those opening titles via DM to @OPL after following @NeoSurf Esports on Twitter gets a $500 voucher to spend in the League of Legends store, and then 5 runners-up get $100 each. So we've got sponsors coming out of the wazoo with prizes coming out of their wazoos. It's just it's wazoos all the way down. And we want you to be a part of that Wazoo fund. So please, while you're here for the OPL, you may as well get some free stuff as well. Let's take a look at the results from today. As I alluded to earlier, some surprises that popped up there. The biggest surprise, of course, game number 1, when Mammoth take down Legacy and take them pretty handily. Direwolves taking
control
on
room.
Pentanet.gg and taking them down. Avant winning over Gravitas, and my brain just not computing what I was seeing there. Number 4, but while it was predetermined that Chiefs were going to win, Order upset the natural order of things and took down the Chiefs in game 4. Let's take a look at who will be playing whom tomorrow to see if any of these teams can reclaim some ground or cement it further. Direwolves versus Gravitas for game number 1. Chiefs versus Mammoth for game 2.
God.
Watch out, Chiefs. Legacy versus PGG for game 3. And then it is Order versus Avant for game 4. These ones are all interesting, particularly now, even game 2.
If there's a week where Mammoth beat Legacy and Chiefs, I don't understand League of Legends anymore.
That is,
they were good today.
That is in my heart. That is all I want. We'll be here for that from 4 p.m. AEST. That is OPL time, and we would love for you guys to join us as well. A massive thank you to our sponsors, EPOS, NeoSurf, and Macca's. A massive thank you to the crew and to my castmates, Spawn, Rusty, and Skimmy. Boys, we had a fun time today, didn't we?
Yes. Yes, we did.
The silence was resounding.
I was like, who's going to speak first?
I just hung a really big matzo ball out there, and you guys just let
I
it
think
dangle.
today was crazy, right? Because we had 3 teams tied at 3rd. Now we've got 3 teams tied at 2nd. Legacy dropping another game. Those teams hot on their heels to say, we want to be the one that wins split 2. Now you've got Avant coming in saying, hey, don't forget about us. We're coming in for a late run at the playoffs as well. And Mammoth saying we can beat Legacy. I don't know what's going on, but it's essentially a lot of excitement happening here in the OPL.
Absolutely, and it is the time that you want that excitement as we barrel our way towards playoffs and the grand final, which is just a few weeks away, and we could not be more excited about that. Everyone in Victoria, and particularly Melbourne, please stay safe. Despite what Spawn says, we do all care about you, even if some of you are awful people who hate our city. But seriously, we hope that you guys are doing okay.
I don't hate your city. I pity your city. There is no hate here.
Wow.
It is purely like
Rusty,
it's just I feel so sorry for you all. Like,
There's no way out of
all I'm
this.
saying
There's no way out of this. You just put yourself. Oh,
yeah,
no.
he's just nailed himself into a corner. He's just gone like, okay, I said it. I'm in lockdown for 6 weeks, and I still pity you.
Yeah, 100%.
I know who I'm sending selfies to every day when I'm outside now. I wasn't going to do that. I thought I'd be kind, but let me tell you, if I'm in a crowd spawn, you're going to know.
Daily exercise is still a reason to be outside. Thank you very much. I can also leave the premise.
Absolutely. Well, everyone in Melbourne, please stay safe. We hope to see you guys all tomorrow for more OPL, but we will be back in just a short moment with the MPL. We'll see you guys then.
today is the NeoSurf Cup, and we're going to be playing against Misfits, so hopefully we can bring home the win.
NeoSurf is simple, safe and secure. You can go to your local shop and get a voucher code and use it online, preferably to buy League of Legends skins.
He's got it! This is deadly! He's got it!
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Target inside.
Greetings, Captain. Incoming status report with news from the Convergence. We've lost contact with some of our allies and enemies have called in reinforcements. We'll have to round up some new recruits if we want to restore peace to the galaxy. Ready? This is Team Fight Tactics Galaxies. Return to the stars. Valkyrie and Void forces have withdrawn from the intergalactic arena. But systems report that new champions have emerged with abilities we've never seen before. Mechanized units identified as battle casts wreak fear and havoc among the ranks of their adversaries, while Astros possess unique abilities. It looks like some remarkably powerful champions are making their way to the front lines. A creature of total mechanical terror, Urgot launches his drill at enemies and reels them in for utter annihilation. Janna casts powerful storms across the battlefield, bolstering allies and disrupting enemy units with impressive crowd control. Thanks to her unique origin, she grants allies additional attack bonuses, giving her team some much-needed support. Oh, one more thing. The Galactic Leaderboard has been reset. With legions of new recruits entering the intergalactic stage, each with unlimited potential waiting to be tapped, I can hardly calculate all the future possibilities. Well, actually, I can. But that's not the point. The galaxy needs you, Captain. So, ready on your go.